everything comes down to taste. So when you have a record label, or maybe you do a fanzine, you open a store, you do anything along those lines in a creative area, you're selling your taste. Your taste isn't going to be for everybody. Know that now. You'll be far better in your life to be like, our yum and our yuck are different. Your taste and my taste is different. And I don't need to have your taste. And that's really hard because in our society, we want to try to make everybody happy. I don't fucking want to make everybody happy at all. I have no interest in making everybody happy at all. And that comes down to like the clients that you pick. There's clients that you have where you're like, we're never going to make this client fucking happy. It's not because they're a pain in the ass. It's because your two views of the world do not meet up correctly, whether the expectation was not set correctly or they're just not happy. If somebody's not happy, there's nothing you can do to make them happy. You're not married to them. They're a client, right? And yes, you need your clients and it's super fucking important. I need customers, but if I think that every person that walks in the store is my customer, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Not every single person that you take a meeting with you're not gonna hit the same connection. And sometimes you have to walk away from money because you know that it's just not the right thing. And that's really hard for people to do because you have to have money to pay people. You have to have money to like keep the fucking lights on. You have to do all of that, right? But when it's the punk ethos part of it that comes in is saying, I don't need you. I don't eat bologna, but like, I'm using that as an example of like, I will tighten my belt and I will eat a bologna sandwich to not fucking work with you.
Totally.
And that is really hard for people to understand. And that all comes from punk rock. All of that comes from punk rock.
The worst mistakes I've made is when I've worked with people, whether musically or as in the work that I do now, where I knew it wasn't right, but I did it for the wrong reasons. Like it could be money or it could be ego,
friendship.
It could be friendship or whatever. But where I was like, there's a client that we took on years ago. It's the only client we've ever been fired from. And I remember thinking, this is a bad idea.
You probably knew it at the second.
First
5 minutes in, you were like, something about this does not ring for me.
I knew it right off the bat, but where I looked at it was, if I could just get over this hump, then it opens up the door of working with this global organization.
Sure.
It'll be good for the business. And I was like, you know what, I can manage this. And I couldn't manage it because it was too toxic. It was too crazy. And when we got fired from the client, I was like super angry about it. And I was like, this is so stupid. Fuck that guy. I was so angry. But then I was like, actually, this is not that dude's fault. This is my fault. I knew not.
He also did you a favor in the end.
Huge favor.
Now.
Huge favor. I'm
not at the moment, but now he did you a favor.
Very, very happy. And like that mistake has continued to kind of like kick me a little bit or elbow me in the side once in a while, because it's like occasionally there'll still be some like reverberations from getting fired from that one client. Like it will cause us to like not get a contract or this and that, because this guy was a total asshole. But the only person to be mad at was me, because I was like, I knew I shouldn't have taken it. And then when I took it, I should have treated it a lot more like I was holding a grenade. It was such a good lesson for me as a business owner, because like going back to putting out records for people that I'm like, I like you as a friend, but I know you're a jerk. Like outside of our
Who wants to work with jerks?
Right. But you know how you can be friends with someone that you know is a jerk, but you just have a friendship?
But I don't want to work with you.
Totally.
I don't want to pull coffee with you. I don't want to be in a business meeting with you.
I've been in bands with people that I knew were jerks. I put out records for people that I knew were jerks. But then it was like, it became different when I was in the band, or if I put out the record for them. Like now I'm exposed to your jerkdomness in a way that I wasn't when we were just friends. It's kind of like dating someone and then realizing as you're dating them, it's like what I liked as you as a friend is absent as now that we're dating. And those lessons, like that kind of like listening to your gut instinct of like, no, don't do this. Don't work for that person. Don't take on that contract.
It's a fucking hard lesson to learn. It is a fucking hard lesson to learn.
It is. And I've learned, like going back to one of the first things you said is like that learning from mistakes. It's like, I look at my life, but predominantly my career, it's like, it's just a series of like oh, I never want that to happen again, or I never want to work for someone like that
Exactly.
again, or hey, I should make more money for this, or like whatever it is. Going back to something you'd said earlier, it's like it's really my mistakes that I've learned the most from
Yeah.
until I found my groove of success. But let's go into the next chapter for you. So you finish at the record label, and then you went into kind of corporate life for a while, right?
I always had like a side job. Like I'd be like, okay, I need to buy Christmas gifts. I'm going to go have a weird Christmas job or whatever, or I'll sell vintage on the side. So, I mean, I would kind of always like you work at a record store, but then you also like take care of an Alzheimer's patient for like 2 days a week. Like I used to go Saturday afternoon and I would work till Monday. People would be like, how do you have all this money? And I was like, well, I get paid like $8 an hour to sleep in like 92. Like I think $3.35 is like the minimum wage. So like $8 an hour to literally go somewhere to like sleep, and cook for somebody and just make sure to do their laundry. I'd come home Monday and I'd take a shower and I'd go work in the record store. I think that I've always kind of had sort of like side jobs. And if I tried to take like a side job at Empty where it would be like an actual corporate job, there's no way I was going to make them happy, right? And so like I was way too deep in bucking the system that I could only take little part-time jobs on the side. Also, like I'm going out, I'm drinking a ton. So, I ended up very randomly taking a job with people that I'm still friends with now. And I started there at 7 a.m. and I worked until noon. And this is at the beginning of the internet, right? So like, this is when people thought the internet is like a thing that 13-year-old boys are going to be super into. Mm-hmm. No one's going to have the internet, right? Like that is going to be a thing that like your kid is into and you have to kick them off the phone because it's like, doot, 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 right? That's the time period. So it worked out perfect for me working out their record label. And it's the very beginning of the internet. eBay started while I worked there. Google started while I worked there. It was perfect. But also like I went to work drunk. I mean, like I know that for a fact because I would like work there in the morning and then I would work at Empty and then I would go to a show and I would literally like, I had it timed perfectly how long it took me to like get out of bed and end up at work with a bunch of other super weirdo, dudes would hang out there like into the evening and they would be like, their wives would call like, and they'd all be playing Doom or whatever, like in a group. And I would be like, all right, Marcus, you got to go home. Your wife's called me 3 times now. I cannot put her off anymore. You fucking got to go home. I mean, I remember the day someone was like, hey, if you're looking for like a cool new search engine, there's this thing called Google.
It was the earliest of early days.
It's the wild fucking West for sure. So, I mean, I'd go there and I mean, I remember drinking a big glass of water when I got to work. And then I was like, oh no, I'm like, I just reactivated the gin from the night before with a glass of water. And I'm like, okay, so just act normal and you're cool. But yeah, I mean, I was going to rock shows like 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week. And at the time, because I worked so much, like it's the first time in my life where like I really had money.
Yeah.
Like if you were in a band and you drank and I was at a show, it would be more likely that I would literally just walk up with like 2 shots each for the band and just set them down and walk away. Yeah. Because I mean, I worked constantly. I mean, I was working like 10, 11 hour days. And that was actually really perfect. And I was really burning it at both ends. I ended up getting really sick. I got strep and mono. Whoa. And it put me in my fucking tracks. I mean, they let me come into my office job. Like I would come work for like 3 hours or something to like keep my insurance. And I mean, like, I don't remember eating for like a year. I mean, I know I ate, but like, I don't remember it. I have no like, I ran into somebody as an adult and they're like, oh, I thought you became a junkie. You were so thin. And I was like, oh, no. Like I got sick. I just got super sick. So that sort of made me kind of like 28 years old. I was like, okay, you have to take care of yourself. You have to like eat 2 meals a day and you can't like just smoke a pack of cigarettes and then maybe at 2 p.m, like eat and then go drinking. Like, and that's how I ended up kind of in the corporate world accidentally, where like I became an office manager and then I would come in and I was kind of bossy and kind of a dick, which is sort of what people want in an office manager, is like someone that won't take shit from anybody and knows how to come in and like be a babysitter. Like all it is, you Work with bands, you're a babysitter. You're an office manager, you're a babysitter. They're not different.
Right.
It's the same exact qualifications. It's like, be organized, kind of have your shit together, don't take too much shit, still be nice, still be soft. That's all you got to do. That's how it happened. And it's the same job. It's just no one understands it's the same exact job. They have no idea.